Putin appears to be testing NATO's nerves as Russian jets swarm around Britain's flagship carrier, HMS Prince of Wales, in a tense Arctic encounter. Russian warplanes have dropped tracking devices, submarine hunting sonobuoys, beside the carrier, probing the UK-led strike group as it sails under NATO command in the Norwegian Sea. In a showdown in the Arctic, Russian Bear F maritime patrol aircraft have forced UK F-35s into action, with British jets scrambling to intercept and escort the intruders away from the carrier. Putin's air force is using high-risk maneuvers to intimidate NATO, staging a provocative Arctic operation just days before alliance leaders meet for a crucial summit on defense and deterrence. 2 Russian Bear F aircraft dropped sonobuoys near Britain's flagship carrier, according to the UK Ministry of Defence. The tracking devices were released close to HMS Prince of Wales in the Norwegian Sea, as the Russian planes flew low and close to the British-led group. The UK Ministry of Defence condemned the Russian maneuver as unsafe and unprofessional, accusing Moscow of reckless behaviour around the carrier. Russian aircraft repeatedly approached the British carrier strike group on July 2, forcing the Royal Navy and RAF to respond throughout the encounter. 2 British F-35 fighter jets were scrambled to intercept and escort the Russian planes away from the vicinity of the carrier. The 65,000-ton HMS Prince of Wales is deployed under NATO's Operation Firecrest and is currently carrying F-35 jets on board. The carrier strike group is supporting NATO efforts to counter and monitor increased Russian military activity in the region. The incident unfolded just days before NATO leaders gather in Ankara for a key summit. Defense spending by alliance members is expected to dominate discussions at the NATO gathering. American President Trump is reportedly unhappy with Britain's defense spending trajectory, seeing it as falling short of his expectations. US officials have warned that many NATO members are still lagging behind the new 5% defense spending target. The UK plans to raise defense spending to 2.7% of GDP by 2029, according to recent reports on government budgeting. Reports suggest Trump may link future US arms access and diplomatic priority to how closely allies meet his defense spending demands. The Arctic encounter highlights growing NATO-Russia tensions ahead of the summit, underscoring how incidents at sea and in the air feed into the wider political debate. The UK has cancelled plans to send HMS Prince of Wales to the high-profile US naval parade, a decision that removes one of Britain's most visible warships from a major international celebration. The Daily Mail reported that the move came after President Trump dismissed British carriers as toy warships, suggesting the row over remarks may have influenced the scheduling. In March, Trump publicly described British aircraft carriers as toys, a barb that quickly reverberated through defense and diplomatic circles on both sides of the Atlantic. The Royal Navy had intended to join other NATO vessels in a prominent New York parade, using the event to showcase alliance unity and maritime capability. Officials in Washington had earlier announced that a British aircraft carrier would be among the ships attending the celebrations, signaling close military ties between the two navies. Defense sources say the carrier's crew were deeply disappointed by the cancellation, with sailors losing a long-anticipated opportunity to represent their service abroad. Many of the sailors had been looking forward to visiting New York to take part in the bicentennial celebrations and to see the city up close. As per Daily Mail's defense source, Prince of Wales crew were bitterly disappointed not to be heading to the Big Apple. The UK Ministry of Defence stressed that HMS Prince of Wales remains actively deployed on NATO operations, underlining the ship's ongoing operational commitments. The Ministry of Defence added that the carrier is currently contributing to efforts to deter Russian aggression in the High North, a mission seen as strategically important to NATO's northern flank. London has denied that politics played any part in cancelling the North America visit, insisting operational priorities alone determined the ship's itinerary. Instead, the Red Arrows represented the UK with a flypast over New York on July 4th, providing an aerial showcase of British skill and pageantry in place of a carrier presence. Former Defence Minister Al Carney defended the UK's carrier capabilities, arguing their size, technology and role in coalition operations belie any suggestion they are merely symbolic toys. Multiple reports suggest the cancellation reflected growing tensions following Trump's comments, highlighting how public rhetoric can strain even long-standing military partnerships. Amid Putin's growing fury at the West, Britain's Navy is facing a deepening warship crisis, with shrinking numbers colliding head-on with rising global demands. On July 4th, new reports revealed that the Royal Navy has lost 9 ships from its order of battle over the past 2 years, quietly cutting into its already thin frontline strength. 3 frigates, 1 submarine and 5 support vessels have left service without replacements, according to reports, leaving holes in escort, logistics and undersea capability. The same report warned that new ships are not expected to arrive in meaningful numbers until the 2030s or even the 2040s, meaning today's gaps could last for a generation. Former First Sea Lord Alan West has slammed the situation as the worst state of the UK Navy in its 350-year history, a damning verdict from one of its most senior ex-commanders. 3 aging Type 23 frigates have been retired, cutting into the core of the Royal Navy's anti-submarine and escort fleet. 1 nuclear-powered submarine has also left service, further eroding Britain's already limited undersea punch. 2 amphibious assault ships have gone, shrinking the Navy's ability to land troops and equipment on hostile shores. 2 fleet support ships have been removed, weakening the logistical backbone that keeps carriers and escorts supplied at sea. A single minesweeper has disappeared from the roster, reducing the capacity to clear vital sea lanes in a crisis. Reports say 4 of Britain's 5 Astute-class submarines have been stuck in dry dock for years, leaving most of the country's attack subfleet tied up instead of on patrol. Boats like HMS Ambush, Artful and Audacious have reportedly been out of sea duty for up to 4 years, sidelined by refits and repairs that keep dragging on. Only HMS Anson is said to remain operational, and even that boat is due for fresh maintenance, raising fears of a looming gap with no attack sub at sea. The delays are being blamed partly on limited dry dock space and capacity, which has turned essential submarine repair programs into a long, frustrating bottleneck.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.